All right, I'm pumped. Actually, this is going to be a good one this week. So we've got mega agent, icon agent, the man, the myth, the legend. We got Robb on with us today, and this guy's a badass producer out of Atlanta, right? Atlanta, Georgia, and surrounding areas. Um,
Atlanta.
Atlanta, and apparently you're hell of a chef too. So before real estate, you had some culinary abilities, and I'm a secret fan of the food porn that you post often. I have to say, man,
Cool, man.
there's some
Yeah,
good
I've
good
been
content
trying
there.
to figure. I need to incorporate that a little bit more into video. I could be I got to come up with a theme and figure out how to brand that a little bit. But the cooking chef slash realtor or some kind of craziness like that. But
Man, that would be great content because you could get that out there, get some recipes out, something like your little video of the week, and you get it out to your database. 100 million%. Because here's the thing: everybody eats.
yeah, everybody loves food.
Everybody loves food. So I'd go with that, man. That would be a good little shtick. But what I wanted to bring Rob on today is I wanted to kind of talk more on kind of like how you're managing like your COI, how you're managing your sphere of influence, how you're basically doing a lot because you're doing a lot by referral in your business, right? What percentage of your business would you say is kind of repeat referral, SOI,
So
that kind of
yeah,
stuff?
as a team, we did about 90 transactions last year. 50% of those came from what I call sphere SOI. If when I was an individual agent, it was probably about 80%, no lie, 70 to 80% of my business. So obviously running a team, you have to bring on other sources, generate more leads, but it's still 50% of our business. And that's from direct, database, sphere, personal contacts, referrals that are generated from people we know, things like that.
And
So
50%, that's amazing.
So
Yep.
there's a lot of people on the call right now that are wanting to up that side of their game. You know, they are like, how do I get more repeat and referral business? So, Eric, why don't you walk us through maybe some of the things that you did early on to sort of establish that? And what are some of the systems and processes maybe that you and your team are working with?
Yeah, be happy to share. Just want to talk a little bit quick about what the definition, our definition is of a PC, personal contact, sphere of influence. Might be a little bit different but I think the most of us in the business, it's pretty much anyone you personally know by sight and name, and in return, that same individual knows you by sight and name. So I got coaching early on when I went out on my own. Before that, I was a director, started out as a buyer agent on a large team, one of the biggest teams in the country. Learned how to convert leads, but I didn't know necessarily how to generate leads. That's usually the case when you're working on a team because they really never taught us about. We had enough business without going into our sphere. I mean, that's really the core foundation. But I've later since found out working your sphere and your database is some of the best leads that you can have, and they're some of the easiest leads you can have. So, and it's proven that agents that work past clients, sphere of influence, have farm areas, work that with energy and excitement and just coming from a positive mindset and attitude and giving those customers, like we call it the Ritz-Carlton of service. Those are generally the biggest agents in the country. Those are the people with the biggest business, the best business, because you're continuing to get repeat and referral business. I mean, over the last 2 days, I think I've gotten like 4 referrals just from texts and people pinging my phone, my neighbor, an agent I used to work with. So who doesn't like that type of business, right? But those relationships take time, building up those relationships and doing the necessary activities like you talked about, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. I'm going into my 9th year in business. So these relationships, don't always happen overnight, but if we're intent on making them happen, they will happen. Our goal from the beginning is to have between 375 to 500 PCSOI. So you might say, well, 375, that's a lot. It is a lot. But if you are living in an area, you've been in that area for a while, we talk about this thing right here between your phone, between Facebook, LinkedIn. You'd be surprised on how many people There's a lot of database spreadsheets that ask you all these different questions. I think we have them in Sims, you know.
Can I ask you something on that, Eric?
Yeah.
So when you said 375 people, are you talking about like 375 people that know you by name, that know you like by name, by your face, like
Site and
you know?
name, and in turn, they you know who they are.
So this is a
So
list. This is a
the goal is to
different
build a
list.
database. Yeah, build a database.
Okay, so this is a list that you've identified in the back end of your CRM system.
Yep.
And what name do you have for this list? Just curious.
Just a PCSOI list. I actually keep it on a separate database, like a Google spreadsheet.
Okay.
Okay. That's how it started, but then it does get imported into, we use Real Geeks. A lot of people here use Real Geeks.
Yeah.
We tag them Eric's PCSOI or whatever you want to tag it. Just make sure that each agent has their own PCSOI list.
So let's start. We've got some people right now that maybe don't even have this list identified. So if you were them, what would be the first action item that you would suggest that they do right now?
First action item I would suggest is you start looking through your phone.
Okay. So you go through your phone, you start with the A's, work your way down.
Start with the A's, get them on the list, name, phone number, email, whatever information you have, name, phone number, email, address. You want to be able to call these people. You want to be able to email them, and you want to be able to mail to them. Yes, we still do snail mail.
Okay.
It's very important.
So first things first, get these people into your CRM system. If you don't have a CRM system, at least start with like an Excel spreadsheet somewhere and start putting in these names. Eric says, make sure that you know them by name and they know you by face. That's kind of like the key thing for identifying these people. So you start there. Now, what are some of the activities that you're doing now? Once I've got this list, what are some of the activities you'd recommend that we do in order to kind of like start really building that up and getting those referrals?
Number one is conversations, right? I don't care what the lead source is, you got to have conversations. I was actually more timid to call Sphere that I hadn't talked to in a year versus calling expired and FSBOs, because to me, that's just a cold call. I don't know you. I've got a script and I can rifle through those. To me, it took a little more courage to say, hey, Tom, hey, Jason, this is Eric. I know we haven't talked in a year and a half. Sorry for not, how's the family? Just create small talk. And then, somewhere in that conversation, just say, hey, just want to let you know, I'm in real estate. What a lot of my clients like is that we send you a market report. It's based on your subdivision. Would that be something that you'd be interested in? Send you all the active, pending, sold properties. And then our CRM has that activity where we can put people on a market report once a month. So that's one activity you can do, because people buy from who they know, like, and trust. So
is there a software program that you use for that, or anything?
You can use, usually your MLS has like a home beat or HomeBot. People use that. Real Geeks happens to have a pretty decent market report. You want to put them on that once a month.
So you could say something like this, like, hey Eric, one of the things that I'm doing for a lot of my potential clients or past clients is I'm just keeping them up to date on their equity position in their home. And what I'm doing is I'm setting up up-to-date market reports that you can get once a month that at least just give you an idea of what the neighbors are selling for and kind of where you're at in the marketplace. Is that something that you would find helpful? Is that kind of the approach that you're taking with that?
Much more eloquently said than I did. But yes, that's what we say. Yes.
Okay, so here you go, guys. If you're listening right now, 2 action items that I would do: get the list identified, then reach out to everybody, check in on them. How are you doing? How's life? What's new and exciting? What's going on in your world? Then come from a place of service. Hey, listen, something I'm doing for a lot of my friends and family members is I'm keeping them up to date on what's happening in the market. And what I'd love to do is just set you up with a monthly market report that at least gives you an idea of where you're sitting in the marketplace. Is that something you would find helpful? Yeah, sure. That'd be great. So that'd be the first step. So for anybody that's wondering, what do I say? That's exactly what you say right there. You can set them up on a private client search through your MLS if you want to. If you have a good lead gen website, they offer market reports. You could do both if you wanted to. So that would be one action item that people could do right now. What's another thing that you've done to kind of continue to develop those relationships?
Yeah, we've got a whole system. So with that, just take your contacts. If you've got 100 right now, you divide them up on a weekly basis. Make it one day a week on a Wednesday, or do 2 days a week if you have a lot. and you break it up. I'm going to call 5 on Monday. I'm going to call 5 on Wednesday. And so you're having a conversation and you're getting them on a market report. So that's kind of like a 2-in-1 right there when you first start, which is
I love
great.
that. That's such a simple action that we could all take right now. And if we just had more people doing that, like there's low-lying fruit that may come out of the woodwork just from that little action right there.
Yeah, I think so many times we want to continue to like generate more leads. We want to get into Zillow and Realtor and buy all these leads when 50% of our business is sitting like right under our nose, but we've got to learn how to work it, right? So the market reports, so a good monthly email. If you don't have a system to email, you can see what your CRM has, but I would definitely recommend investing in a Constant Contact or MailChimp. Just do a basic kind of newsletter and start sending that to your leads twice a month. So we've got this database, we're building this database, we're having conversations, we're getting people on market reports, and then we're emailing them twice a month. One of the emails should be a video. We know how important video is now. So put a nice video into one. I get emails from
what kind of videos
coaching.
do you have a format of videos that you're doing, Rob? Or Eric, sorry.
Just general topics. I mean, what I hear on the internet or what I feel like people are kind of interested in, interest rates, just something of value,
Okay.
Something of value.
Okay.
Just a short, like no longer than 2 minutes. Okay. You can record it on BombBomb. You can do it on your phone and upload it. If you have a YouTube channel, you can link it back to the YouTube, which is a great way to build our subscriber list there.
Yeah, I love that. And I know there's some people that are watching right now that have been doing some YouTube stuff. And I'm going to have them on as guests in the near future. Richard, I'm looking at you, buddy. But yeah, that's been something that he's getting a lot of low-lying fruit is from just doing videos. And so what you're saying is do those videos and then put them right into your CRM system every month. Okay. Like it.
Yep. Next thing, now we've got snail mail. So we mail a newsletter. It's more of like an offer kind of template. I can share the template. We switch it up a little bit. I actually got this from Frank over at Viral Marketing, if any of you know him, but he'll do like a letter a month and we'll kind of switch it up depending on what's going on. So we'll mail out, and this only goes to more of like our we have advocates. So let's say you've got a list, you've built it up, now it's 500. So usually 10% of that list would be kind of like VIPs or advocates, people that are sending you referrals. You're really good. So we'll mail out stuff to them like once a month. So that's another great thing to continue to stay top of mind.
I love that.
So coming up with a once a month newsletter.
So for any of our like coaching students or people that follow us, I talk about these are your A and B clients that you've identified. These are people that have done business with you, have referred you. Maybe some of them have done multiple deals. So Similar to Eric, you call them your VIP clients. We actually call it our VIP program, but it's A and B clients. So similar. What you're saying though, is make sure that they're getting a snail mail piece once a month. Do you do anything exciting with the envelopes to make them stand out at all?
Yeah. I forgot who we use for the mailers, but we use like yellow envelopes. We use the handwritten. There's a company that does like they look handwritten. So yeah, we specialize in that. Otherwise it just gets tossed in the mail. So you definitely want to make sure that your letters are standing out, or they'll get tossed.
And Eric, as we're saying this, man, like your recipe, you need to do your recipe of the month, bro. That needs to be on that letter.
Yeah. We'll put that in there once in a while.
Yeah, I would love that, man. You're going to give me cooking ideas, right? Put me on your mailing list, bro.
That's right.
I like that. And share it. Like, if you don't mind sharing the company with us that you use, if you're willing to, that'd be awesome. We'd all appreciate it.
Yep. I will do that. Just
post it in the chat later. And if you don't know off the top of your head, you could always let me know later and I can let people know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get it today.
Love it. Dude, I'm telling you though, the recipe thing, like if I'm your past client, I'd love that because I'd probably use your recipes. And then you can even put something in there with a little hook being like, hey, send me a photo of your recipe once you've made it. Then you can start, all of a sudden you'll get some random like pictures and then you'll know that they're actually reading your letter. True.
Good idea, man. Yeah, we'll usually only send out recipes around like Easter and Christmas and Thanksgiving, but we probably need to incorporate that a little more. And then the next thing is like client appreciation events. Or I know some people are starting kind of like a VIP club where they're actually sending out things more on a regular. But for us, it's just more of a client appreciation and thank yous. I used to do like 10 handwritten thank you notes. Now my assistant does them. She'll do 10 to 15 a week and just go through our list. I think our list is a little bit over 500 right now. So, at the end of the year, you've sent out, whatever, 500 thank you notes over time. So it's you can see where this kind of just continues to build and grow. And it's really the foundation of my business and our business and what's helped my agents now kind of grow their business. And it's something that has a heartbeat of its own and is,
and it provides, it's like farming, right? Like you're planting seeds, you're putting fertilizer in the field and everything else. And then all of a sudden you've got these crops that are being produced because you're putting in the time to keep the relationship with people, right?
Yeah.
You're doing the opposite of what most realtors do, which is the wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, right? They get paid and then you don't hear from them ever again.
Yeah.
Which is not the way to go, guys.
No.
Don't be that agent.
So I got a question. If we can just kind of go back. So Eric, one of the very first sort of measurable, activities that you were talking about was just sort of going through your database, which again, I agree. I mean, this is the greatest database that you can possibly have as a new agent getting started. You talked a little bit about, and we kind of played around with a couple little scripts there about going through and actually initially contacting people. Now, I know there's a lot of people on the call who, again, could be newer agents, could even be sort of more senior, like seasoned, tenured agents, and they might have that same struggle. What was some of the response as you were going through your database, kind of that first time and making those calls?
You know what? The fear was all in my head. The responses were overwhelmingly like receptive and, hey man, how you doing? And I haven't talked to you in a while. And it was all the pent up, nervousness and fear in my head about, oh man, this kid's daughter's already graduated and I don't want to call her now. I haven't talked to him in 3 years. And it's like the 1,000-pound telephone, before we go to pick it up. But I think once you start making these calls and you start getting the responses are overwhelmingly positive. So it's a great feeling once you get started, right? It's kind of
a lot of people kind of get stuck in that mindset, like, well, I don't want to sell to everybody, or if it's somebody I haven't talked to in 3 years or 5 years, and well, I don't have a last name in my contact list. It just says Eric, right? So I think that activity, almost like the fear of the activity, really stalls people out. And I think one of the most impactful things you can do in the beginning is just start. I mean, it's a contact sport, like just getting in and making those calls. And it's just funny to see how many people get stalled out because they're scared of what that reaction is going to be.
Yeah. And my list was choppy in the beginning, man. It was, I might have had Jason's name and phone number and didn't have his email. And you can find a mailing address, but so it was very choppy. And that's why we put it in a spreadsheet. So over time, you've got maybe 300 names, but you might only have 200 email addresses, and you've got to spend time kind of updating that. So I would time block, make sure that I'm being consistent and working on this database every day. The more you put into it, the more that thing spits back, man. And it spits back dollar signs. If that's the ultimate goal, to be able to live the life that you want, right? It all goes back to your big why and, your attitude. And, for me, I don't want to work 7 days a week. I love spending time with my family and my kids and going on vacations. And I mean, now I can work 4 days a week, 40 hours a week. But before, to get this thing running, it was 70 and 80 because I could see the goal, the ultimate goal. So it does take work, but it pays multiple dividends.
Yeah. I mean, in your career, like you've seen some like huge success. So can you talk a little bit around kind of that mindset that you have? Because every time I talk to you, you're engaged, you're fired up, you've got a plan. What do you do to kind of keep your head right day over day?
Man, that's a good one. I don't know. I've always been kind of an optimist, but I just research a lot before I decided to jump out on my own and get into real estate. I watched people like Jason and people, a lot of these other agents that you see. And I kind of knew what it took to be successful, man. And I worked for one of the most successful agents in the whole country. So but my why is really providing for my family, my kids, and my relationship with my higher power, and wanting to be able to give back. So that's really what brings me through the valleys of this business, is seeing through the other side and just trying to look at the glass half full, man, and instead of half empty, and just being an example for people. So, jumping on, starting with FSBOs and expireds, and, what's going to keep you dialing for dollars is, there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, man. And you just gotta keep moving forward,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So anybody that's paying attention right now, if this is valuable and helpful, like just post in the chat your comments. Like it's helpful. We're trying to go to some basic things right now that aren't basic in return, right? The return on your time and the return on the energy you'll put into this is probably going to be far greater than many, many different sources that you can invest in. This is why we're taking the time to go over this with you guys today, because I know there's some of you that are having massive success, but you don't even really have this dialed in yet. Could you imagine if you had this whole arm of your business dialed in and you had a list and we build it to 1,000, 1,500 people in time, right? I mean, this is something that's possible. But start with wherever you're at. If you're at 25, I don't care. That's 25 opportunities that you can kind of work from. Now, Eric, what would you say? So we've kind of talked about the client appreciation events, right? We've talked about like physical mailers that you're doing, the market reports. What kind of events for people that maybe don't have a big budget or maybe don't have a lot of time to throw an event? What are some of the things that you've done in the past that you felt like have produced a good return on your time?
Just anything you can do that stands out in front of people that shows that you're making an effort. Like when I didn't have a big budget, I would go and buy like 150 pumpkins from Trader Joe's. I'd have a trailer, to borrow a trailer. I ended up buying a trailer, but I'd go pick up a couple pallets of pumpkins, make a little, just a little thing to tie on them, nice printed, thank you for your business, whatever. And these were all to past clients. So if you sell 50 clients in 1 year, you're doing 50 pumpkins. You sell 100, whatever. And to our advocates, our top referral partners, things like that. And you go deliver pumpkins, man. That was one thing that I got a huge response. Oh, thank you so much. My kids loved it. And that was, you get business from that. You put the effort into it and it's going to come back. And then it evolved into like fall appreciation parties at my house. You rent some inflatables and you have hot cider and you invite everybody, to those type of events, or you do little wine events if you want to do the more adult driven events. For us, our business is more family oriented. So we like to kind of do the family and the Santa Christmas time. You can do a Santa, pictures with Santa, stuff like that.
Love it. An idea for your pumpkin thing too. There's a guy in our local market that's been doing this for years. He puts on a contest. So he does that with all his past clients. And then he has like a social media contest where people like carve their pumpkins and submit them. And then he picks 3 winners, I think, every year. And then he donates money to a charity or does some sort of giveaway. And man, he said he gets a ton. That is his big client appreciation event. He does it. I think he's done it for 7 years in a row or something like that. And he says his business is probably 95% repeat and referral. Like this is literally his thing. And it's amazing how something so simple like that can have such impact. But what it does, and for you, Eric, because you're dealing with families, it's like it's creating memories with that, like families creating memories together. And then guess what? They're associating that with you. And so if you guys think about this as human beings, we attach memories to emotions. Like if we felt happy, if we had experiences, we always remember those things. And so the more memories and experiences you can create or thoughtful things you can do that elicit an emotion for people, the more they'll remember you. And I think that's perfect theme and in line with that. So I love that.
Think about the conversion rates. I used to spend a lot of time and effort into expireds and FSBOs and internet. And my coach would always like, dude, the referral business and the database, you should be spending as much time, if not more, making those phone calls and spending more time on your database, because 1 out of every 2 to 3 of your leads are going to convert from a PCSOI versus, we all know the statistics, on internet or FSBOs, expireds, they're a lot higher than that, all the way 1 out of 20, 1 out of 40. Wouldn't you rather have the odds of 1 out of 2 or 3? So, it's a mindset game too, right?
Love it. Question for you, Eric, if you don't mind. There's a couple questions in the chat. This is really good, by the way. Why do you put your PCSOI list in a Google spreadsheet as well as Real Geeks?
Because it's just easier for us to view it, and it's easier for me to share it with now my admin, who does a lot of work in there and helps me fill in the information. So to have it on a Google Sheet, when you can see the whole spreadsheet. We also use Google Sheet for all of our deals, as well as we have a program called CTE, which then gets into all the numbers and our key, KPIs and stuff like that. But I like to use Google Sheets because they're easy to share and you can see all the information on them. So I would highly encourage you to put your list on there, because you can have, name, email, address. Then you can start adding other columns like, did we send out the handwritten thank you this month? Did we, are they in my geographic farm? You can start to kind of build on this list. So we're talking about kind of the basics. This list can then, you can spread that thing out for however long you want. And you can't have all those features. It's a lot more difficult in the CRM to kind of have all that access at once.
Love that. Let's see, any other ones here? Julia had a really good question. So she's from Alberta. So she's in Nanaimo right now where we live. And she's from Alberta though. So a lot of her contacts are from back home. And so contacting them in the future when she becomes an agent, should I still contact them because the marketing for housing is way different on the island than, like she's basically wondering, in your opinion, should she still make contact with those people?
In my opinion, I would only focus more on the people that are kind of in the area that you actually want to generate business and want to work yourself. It wouldn't be a bad idea, I don't think, to stay in touch with them and have them on social media and maybe build up a referral business with those leads and have some referral agents in the other town. But I wouldn't work as aggressively on people that aren't in your area, in my opinion.
I'm going to give my thoughts on this too, actually.
And I think just to build on that. So Eric, what would be some tips for maybe agents that are sort of new to a state or a province or a town where they really don't have much of a sphere? What can they do to kind of kickstart that?
Get involved, man. Get involved with chamber, get involved with a church. If you're spiritual, go work out, go to a gym, make a goal, add like 1 or 2 people to that list every day. I think there's a lot of agents that talk about that, have conversations, go to a bar if you like that. I mean, you can meet people wherever, and I'm a social person, but I'm not very talkative. But if I know that there's a possible business, just build relationships is really what it comes down to wherever you're at. But the more things you can join and go get married and have a family, that'll help you, get involved with kids sports. And
it's funny. We had some agents that were on a volleyball team. Jason and I played about 2.5 years ago. And just by showing up, being good sports, having our branding on a jersey, we've pulled 13 deals from a dodgeball team in 2.5 years.
Nice.
13. And this isn't going there with the intent of talking about real estate. It was just kind of a serendipitous side effect of just showing up.
Yep.
I want to go back though, Joe. You cut me off. I have to call you out on it. You cut me off. I was about to give something that I thought was valuable on Julia's answer. So I'm calling you out publicly here, bud. When it comes to the list of the people from out of town, what I would do, Julia, is I would find somebody in that market that like, and trust. And I would still have those conversations with clients out there and work out like a referral agreement with that agent where maybe there's potential opportunity. And heck, maybe they're thinking about investing in real estate and you live in one of the most amazing places on the planet. So maybe there's some real estate conversations that you can have as well around maybe looking to diversify and invest. So like Eric said, you might not do as much of an elaborate sort of campaign, but I still think it would be worth connecting with them and maybe introducing them to somebody in that local market. So just something to keep in mind there, because there's still some good referral opportunity that could happen.
So a couple of people asked, I put letterprinting.net is the one that does like the handwritten letters, newsletters. You can get the different style envelopes if somebody's interested in that. As far as the 2 times a month like newsletters, now we've developed our own through MailChimp. which is a great way to do it. But in the beginning, we just kind of used like a generic, when it was just me and an assistant, just kind of like a generic template. So just start. It's better to do something than nothing, right? And then you can evolve over time. The newsletter gets better. You see other ideas. You rip off and duplicate, and it becomes better and better over time.
Love that. Eric, what are some of the other things that you guys are doing that have helped you kind of build up this consistent referral business year over year? And it looks like, if I'm doing the math correctly, you're getting about 10 to 15% of people repeat transacting or referring from that list consistently, like almost every year.
Yeah, I forget what seminar I went to. I think it was the Tom Ferry, where they have you like kind of your sphere, how many sphere do you have, and what's your average commission, and they have you work it out to like basically how much income you're losing based off your database. If you kind of do that exercise, it makes you realize like, hey, I need to kind of really work this thing. But yeah, I think we're doing a pretty good job at it. I mean, that's really it. I'm always like to try to keep it simple. I think what we have going on is enough. If you're doing it on a daily basis, you're doing it consistently, you're making it, what are ways that we can improve it? If you research number one listing sources, lead sources, I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be database, sphere, past clients, referrals from past clients, and then nurturing your leads in your database. I think we're up to, 9,000 leads in our database now. So
love it.
Geo farming comes along with that, and niche farming. Kind of a lot of my sphere and database is kind of where I want to work and live and play. I've always wanted to do that in my area. So you can start to add on some niche marketing, some database retargeting with Facebook and social media and YouTube. And then this all becomes, just like I said, man, it's like you guys get a lot of snow in Canada. So you make a snowball and push that sucker down the hill, and you can't stop it. So, yeah, man.
They have a lot of snow in Buffalo, I hear too.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't live there anymore.
Yeah, it's too bad your guys can't golf right now. Do you add birthdays to your Google spreadsheet?
Yes. Sorry, important dates, birthdays. We try to get birthday cards out. Thank you for asking.
Eric, can I give you one thing that we've been doing that you could do with your list that I think's like brilliant, and it's been working really well? Look for thoughtful sendouts. So we kind of have a goal that like every week as a group, we want to do at least a few thoughtful sendouts, because we know the compounding effect over the course of a year. And I'll give you an example. So if I'm on social media and I see there's something that's happened in one of my clients' life, maybe their grandfather just passed, or their dog just passed away, or they just graduated, anything like that, I'll take a picture of it, send it to our admin team and just say, hey, can we do something thoughtful for them? So we might send them flowers, we might send them with a nice thoughtful card, but like we really look for thoughtful things that we can do in the people that we care about's lives. And this is an easy thing that you guys can all do yourselves, is like build it into your action plans, or maybe you do 1 or 2 thoughtful sendouts a week. If you think about the compounding effect of that over the course of a year, that's 100 people that you've made impact. And I can honestly say, within months, we usually end up getting a referral, and we're not even trying to get a referral. We're just like loving up on our people because we care about them, and we've noticed that over the last, and we've been doing this for maybe 3-4 years now, we're seeing like almost every time we end up getting a referral within a few months or so. It's pretty cool how it happens with the people that we're doing that with. And they are, it just deepens the relationship with those clients. So that's a cool little thing that you can do with your team. And I know we've been doing that religiously, and it's makes really big impact. So.
Yeah, man, that's great. That's great. I like that. We do home anniversaries as well as birthdays too. I added that into the chat.
Awesome. Do you do anything on their home anniversaries or their birthdays?
No, just a handwritten, maybe a Starbucks card, but usually a handwritten note.
Okay. One thing we've been doing for 6 years is our birthday brownies. So every year, and we do it through sendout cards, you'll get a nice card, but you'll get birthday brownies, and they're delicious. And they come in like a really nice, cool package in a box. They've become like the Sims brownies. It's like a thing now in our area because we've been doing it for 6 years. But I put a good budget behind that. But it's worth it. And then with the home anniversaries, we'll do a nice card, and we'll usually have like a little thoughtful gift that we do for their home anniversary. So just something to celebrate them, right? Again, not always just like market related, but more just loving up on our clients. So those are a couple of things that we're doing that I think have made a really nice impact, because we're at about 55% of our business now being repeat and referral as well. So it's a huge part of our success. Joe Stiletti says, huge success with brownies. Many people that get in touch with us and thank us for those tell us how thoughtful they are and how good they are. They're amazing. They're really good brownies. If you haven't tried them, they're actually really, really good. So
Is that a company in Vancouver?
No, it's a company out of Utah, but it's called Sendo Cards.
They ship them. Oh, and they ship brownies with the cards?
Dude, it's all automated. All of our touch campaigns. You know what I'll do, Joe? Why don't we have somebody from Sendo Cards come on at some point? We can talk about their program. Sure. It's actually really cool. And it's made it so that you can automate everything when it comes to those thoughtful sendouts. And
Dude,
there's so many things you could choose from. So Joe, let's put that on the docket. Let's bring somebody in. I think that'd be a cool one. I know that's been something that we've put a good budget in every single year, and it's had a really good return for us. So
definitely make us spend more money.
Yeah, I mean that's just it, right?
Worth it though.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. There's nothing better than referral business, in my opinion. Honestly, it's the best. It feels good. It knows that you're doing something. It makes you know that you're doing something right. Hey, let's open it up to some questions. And Joe, if you have any more questions for Eric, fire away. But let's see if we can open it up to some questions here, guys. Like, what are some areas that what are you doing? Maybe you want to share what you're doing you're having good impact with. Maybe you want some ideas. We can share what we're doing. Eric can, others on this mastermind call. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. So let's kind of open it up.
I got a question for Eric.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So the one thing I've always been struggling a little bit is this whole like weekly, bi-weekly emails and newsletter kind of stuff. Just because, you kind of get into doing it and you sometimes think, okay, we're like sending a lot of stuff out and you're just kind of waiting for a little bit more of the unsubscribes to happen. What's the kind of content and the structure and the length of the stuff that you're sending out so that you're not getting into that kind of a conversation with people where they just hit the unsubscribe or like, just basically tune you out?
Yeah, I think over time, I mean, our list right now is over 8,000, not the PCSOI, but they're included in that. But we're always trying to come just from a place of good content, value. We'll do a little like maybe coming soon preview. It's not really a super long email. It's maybe got 3 parts to it. We started blogging early on too on our website. So we'll include some information about the area and schools. If there's any, mayoral races, something that's just kind of good local content. In the beginning, like I said, it was templates from our broker, and, there's some valuable information in there, but I think the more customized you can do it, MailChimp is what we use now. And it's pretty easy to drag and drop different things in there. We'll take some of our social media pieces. And like I said, the videos, I mean, the more videos you do, you can kind of repurpose those as well. And just make it something of value. Like, what would you like to see in a newsletter? And don't worry about the unsubscribes, man. That's a part of it. It's a part of the business. And, some of my best friends have unsubscribed from my emails, and it's okay, man. There's enough business to go around, and I'm still going to call them or still go play golf with them. They just don't want to see my crap. So it's okay.
Yeah. And how often are you sending these weekly, or are you
twice a month? Twice a month.
Yeah.
And like now we're trying to run a little, we're big on reviews. Actually, you guys talked about that a couple of weeks ago, or we all did. So we're trying to do like a review kind of campaign and email and do a drawing. And so we'll send out our regular newsletter, and then we're going to do one other kind of send out just to our sphere to try to up our reviews, and we'll kind of couple that with social media and do a live drawing and things like that. So that'll be a third email in that month. But
your reviews are super important, by the way. I can't stress that enough. We get a lot of low-lying fruit because of how much focus we've put on that over the last 12 months or so. We had people calling us, and people actually read your reviews, believe it or not. and it's that important. So definitely think about it. If you're looking at booking a hotel, right? Your travel agent maybe recommended a hotel. You'd probably go online and look at the reviews. If you're going on any like travel site or anything like that, you're looking at the reviews. And for me, I like to use a company called Hotwire when I book hotels. And guess what? If it's got a 95% rating or better, then that's the hotel I'm going to pick over the one that has an 80% rating or 75% rating. So think about that. That's the world we live in now, guys. What other questions, or maybe you're doing something and you want to share? I mean, this is the point of this is a mastermind. So it has to be a two-way street here where we share with each other. There's no ego here.
This is a little off topic, but Google Business, if you don't have a Google Business page, or if you do have local service providers in your area with Google, I would definitely recommend signing up with that. That kind of goes hand in hand with the reviews. Because Jason's true. The first thing they do even if you get a referral or someone is referring you, that's the first thing they're going to do is go Google your name or your business. And if it looks professional, you have a website, you've got some reviews, you're on Google. I mean, that's legit, right? They're gonna call you. So yeah.
100%. Your digital footprint is more important now than it's ever been. So important. All right. Well, we don't have to keep going if nobody's got any more questions or anything that they want to add to this. But I hope you guys found value. Eric, thank you, man. And congratulations on your success, brother. I know you just bought yourself a really cool investment property as well down in Florida. So look forward to maybe going out there and getting some golfing with you, man. That would be kind of fun.
Absolutely, man. 250 yards from the beach, brother.
Oh, sweet.
We're gonna get into short-term rental. So yeah, this business has been great for us. I mean, that'll be my fourth rental property in the last 2 years. And it's amazing. Not only do we now, sell real estate, help clients, but also become, an investor in it and an investor in other things and just building for the future. So it's been great for us, man. And a lot of it is thanks to you and this group and what we've been able to kind of grow. A rising tide lifts all boats, right? We've all kind of been able to grow together, and it's been great, man.
Love it. Well, dude, it's an honor to be partnered with you. Eric made a big shift in his business last year, going from Berkshire Hathaway over to EXP and part of our collaborative movement. And I'm grateful because I know you had a lot of amazing sponsor options that you chose, and you chose to collaborate with us. And I'm glad that you're getting value, and we're certainly getting value from this call today. And that's what we're about, man. We're about collaboration, leveling up together. Let's help each other versus competing with one another for dumb trophies that have zero meaning. Let's actually elevate each other as an industry. How about we become better realtors and we mastermind? So look, if you guys know some people that you think could benefit from some of the things that we're doing here, let them know about what's going on. I mean, this is what we're about. We're going to continue to try and bring value every week so that you guys can keep improving in your businesses. And it's just humbling to know that we've created this awesome movement where we're all thriving together. And as long as we have that mindset of lifting each other up, I can't see us not dominating into the future. So thanks, Eric. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. One other quick thing. The two biggest sales I had last year, 1.6 million and 1.5, they were both from people I knew. One friend of mine is in my workout group. He's an accountant, had a trust. Got that listing, and the other one was from a friend as well. I mean, you hang out with rich people too, but big listings.
Get some rich friends to hang out with too.
Yeah, and that was right before Christmas too. We closed that 1.6 million. So kids were happy for Christmas, man.
Yeah, congratulations, brother. Well, continued success, my friend. Thanks for being a collaborator, and look forward to more awesome masterminds coming up, guys. So have an amazing day, everybody.
Peace. See ya.
If you found this content helpful, make sure that you guys subscribe below. We got some awesome content that we're putting in our mastermind group, collaborativemovement.com. Check it out. If you're not part of the movement, you're not hanging out in rooms where people are lifting you up and helping you be better in real estate, then you should take a look at what we're doing. We're changing lives here and building some really true wealth together. And we're building amazing modern real estate businesses. So thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for watching. If you really found this valuable, smash the like button below, subscribe to our YouTube page, and then look for more amazing content.